Hi folks, Aaron here. Now, if you are here because you see the word graphic novel in the title and you are completely new to my channel, first and foremost, welcome to my channel. But besides that, you know, you probably think, wait a second, I see mostly, like if you look through my videos, you see mostly anime reviews. That's because I'm mainly an anime reviewer. I typically only review anime. I've done other videos obviously on here too. I've done discussion videos, advice videos and stuff like that. And I've reviewed a few times, mind you, a few, very few times, manga and other things too. But namely, my channel is focused on anime. So if you're not really into that, don't expect too many graphic novel reviews from me. It's gonna be something that maybe if this video does very well, maybe I'll think about doing graphic novel reviews, because that'd be kind of cool. But first and foremost, I am an anime reviewer, just to give you a heads up for. But that does not mean, folks, that my only taste in the world is anime. I actually am a huge fan of other things too, like video games, manga, and obviously graphic novels. Because way back when I was like 4 or 5 years old, my dad gave me a whole bunch of comics. And when he gave me all these comics, I became a huge fan of comics from then on. I would save up quarters and nickels and dimes, everything I could change-wise, to then go to the comic book store nearby and buy like a single issue of Spider-Man or Punisher or even Wolverine. These are some of the big ones, but that was what I was into when I was a kid. Yes, I was into the Punisher when I was a kid. That's a little scary-ish, but Punisher wasn't as violent as I think it is nowadays. Like, when the Punisher existed way back when, it was a little more tone of where you saw action, explosions, and stuff like that, but it wasn't like super violent. You're still violent, but it wasn't nearly as bad. But off point. But as I got older, my taste started going towards manga and anime more than graphic novels and comic books. But that does not mean that I don't like graphic novels. I actually love graphic novels. I've read quite a few. I've read obviously The Walking Dead. I've read the original Witchblade. I've read The Darkness, which I don't know if any of you guys even know what The Darkness is, but it's based off the I want to say actually Witchblade's based off The Darkness, etc. I've read the Dark Tower series via the graphic novels, and the list goes on. I actually own a lot of graphic novels, and I've read a lot of graphic novels. So, it was kind of interesting that out of nowhere, a friend of mine on Twitter named Michelle sent me a message saying, hey, would you like to review something for a group I'm working with? And I'm like, review what exactly? Because I'm not really used to people asking me to review specific things besides like work, they ask me to review something, I'm on for it, but usually I don't have other people ask me to review things, which is kind of cool. But lo and behold, they asked me to review the series you see right now to the right and left of the screen called Column. Now, this is a World War III graphic novel series done by a man named Tim Morris, who I met yesterday. He seems like a really cool guy. And by the way, if you need any more information about any of the stuff I'm talking about, for example, like Column, or Tim, or any of his team that's developing this, etc., I'm actually going to leave a link to his website in the description box below, as well as the Twitter links to all the people I mentioned in this review. And I'll tell you, you guys can go and click them. Please follow them. They all seem like a really bunch of cool people, and I give them credit because this is a big undertaking, and especially with some of the stuff I'm going to talk about in this review, it's crazy. It really is awesome. I think it's very rare that you see this from any independent studio or even just a singular group in general. But Columns is, like I said, Column, is a World War III, like I said, graphic novel story, and it's not really super dark or super gritty. It's meant to be more, I want to say, comedic at times, and also with a little bit of serious here and there, but meant to be more comedic, I think, and that's what I'm gauging from the first exclusive preview. It does have those moments of tension, yes, definitely, but I don't think that's going to be the sole thing about this, and that's really kind of a cool thing about that, because I think with the type of art style it's going for, it would be a detriment to have it being too serious too. It's in own right. But what makes Column so interesting is that, check this out, folks, and you'll understand what I talk about. You see some of these names right here as they're playing these, and if you know anything about anime voice actresses, you should know some of these names. Colleen Clickenbeard, for example, Lucy Christian, Jeremy Lee, Alexis Tipton. You should know some of these people. Definitely know some of them. I mean, especially, Colleen and Lucy. Those are some of the biggest ones I know off the top of my head. And Jeremy, I also know, is huge too. But they do a lot of anime voice actors, or voice roles, And what's cool is that they are actually going to be included into the story of Column. Now, you may be asking how. Well, Column, what's really cool about it is it's going to have an audio concept to it, which is really interesting for a graphic novel. It's not unheard of to hear an audio theme for something where a lot of times, and I want to say with the best examples I can think of, manhwas, for example, they typically have a audio thing to them where they have music playing in the background sometimes, or even have sometimes voices, etc. But with Column, it's going to have a separate audio concept to it. So I'll explain it better from what I know. And if I make any mistakes, by the way, I do apologize, because I only know so much myself. You know, this is still a currently in work progress type story, so you know, there's always things that could change and deviate, but this is what I have. What Tim plans on doing with Column is that him and his team are going to have, where if you buy, for example, Column episode 1 or volume 1, it will have an audio theme to it. So if you buy it physically, it'll have a CD with it. If you buy it digitally, I think it's gonna have like a file with it. But what's cool about the audio is it's gonna have characters monologuing, and I got to hear Colleen's monologue for her character Hunter, and what was interesting was you actually hear her monologuing the thing, and it became a mixture of, I want to say, deep story narrative outside of the main story you get from the graphic novel itself. So that's actually pretty cool. I think that's very interesting. Not very many works in the West do that specifically, and to see this work do it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty nifty. Now, when I actually saw Column, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit. I'm not going to show you all of it because I think that would be kind of spoiling it. If you guys want more information, like I said before, definitely check the website for more released information, etc. Or reach out to Tim via his Twitter, because I know that this guy needs more followers and he needs to spread his team out, so this way they can get this thing, I want to say just publicly known, because I feel like it deserves to be publicly known. But Columns has a very interesting art style. It reminds me of, from what it looks like, Scott Pilgrim type thing. Not exactly Scott Pilgrim, a little more detail here and there. I really love the characters. They're like chibi form, but also at the same time, they have some really cool designs. So it's very similar to Scott Pilgrim, but not at the same level. Scott Pilgrim makes characters really tiny. This is more defined, and I love some of the background stuff. It reminds me of such classic comic book styles. I love it. And what I really think is kind of cool too, and I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Like I said, I'm just gonna show you a little bit of the stuff. I don't want to go through everything, and I don't think you guys want to hear me play out the voices of these characters, because I think I would ruin them. But if you guys want me to, that'd be kind of funny, but I'm not going to. But see, this is one of our first females where I was talking about Colleen plays, and this is Hunter. What's kind of cool about this though is when she's introduced, you see her as like a little chibi character. So like, oh look, she's a little chibi character. Then she becomes, oh, full-size character. I think that's awesome, and you could tell the art. I mean, yes, shy away from this for a second, folks. Don't be perverts, but seriously, I love the way she looks. I love the way they did her character, and this is just one of the characters. You have a whole bunch of other female characters. These are the other ones too, and they all have different ways of being and stuff like that. You can actually go onto that site I showed you, and I'll link. Like I said, I'm gonna link everything in the description box below, but you can actually see and actually hear their voices being played for their characters, and it's really cool. I listened to several of them already. It's just really awesome to me. So I mean, honestly, Column to me has a lot of potential to be amazing. What am I worried about with this whole thing? Probably the only thing I'm worried about is the fusion of story with World War III focus and also comedy focus, because there are stories that have been done like that before, but they could always go sour if things don't work out a certain way. But I don't know, for me, I have a lot. I know I very rarely say this, folks, because I don't like to hype myself up a lot with a lot of things. It tends to ruin the experience. But with Column, I feel like this could be an awesome graphic novel. I feel like the story will work perfectly, and it will balance between being serious at times and comedic at other times. And I feel like it'll do a good job of that. I really want to see that from this team. I'm hoping that what they'll let me do is they'll let me review each volume, because if I can, trust me, folks, I will actually do that. And it's the only series I've actually ever said I would do that for. But I will legit go through each volume as it goes out, and I'll talk about what I liked about it, what I disliked about it, etc. But yes, like I said before, Column has the potential to be amazing, and right now I think it needs a lot of support and a lot of love. So you guys definitely go check out all the links in the description box below. Give this guy some shout outs. He has done something that I have not seen in a long time. It has so much potential to be amazing, and it's scary, because I'm like, you guys asked me to review it. I hope I did it some justice by talking about it even a little bit and saying what I felt about it. it's like, I didn't even mention the music stuff. Like there is supposed to be like music that's could also accompany the soundtrack, which so far what it sounded like, it reminded me of the 80s music from movies like Terminator, Tron, for example. It has that theme to it, also with the World War kind of twist to it. So, you know, there's a lot of elements going to this story that it seems like so many moving pieces, and you wonder how the hell has the team done such a great job with something, just the preview alone, to make this work so far. And I can only hope that it'll continue to be awesome, because I feel like it will be, but I just, you know, I want to say I hope it will. That's the thing. So I pray to team, you know, Tim, everyone else that I met the other day, you know, and I know I could have mentioned all of you, but like I said before, it'll probably be better off if I just put the links that I can in the description box below. You know, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to review this. You know, I'm a humble reviewer in terms of like what I can do, and I really don't have like super flashy software, etc. But, you know, honestly, you guys, you have such a cool project, and I would love to be part of it, at least in terms of reviewing it. So hopefully we'll see what happens with that. And like I said before, guys, you know, the best way to help them out, make sure that they get recognized for this. Make sure to hit the like button, not for me per se. You know, it helps me out too to have videos, you know, being watched in the first place, obviously. But help them out by, you know, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video around with everyone, checking out all the different links in the description box below, following these people, and just keep updated with everything, so this way you can eventually, when it comes out, buy it, because I'm definitely going to buy it when it comes out. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you all later. God bless you all. Bye bye, everyone.